Hello, my name is Carx82 and welcome back to my Gregtech New Horizons series. Just doing some adding of the my patterns to my ME system. I got some cables, I got a couple things down here. I added a workstation thing to my ME system here, just slowly kind of building up, and the reason for that was my ME card needed a EV tier thing. Now, having it automatically enter all the things in this chest, I moved this chest so I could put it right here, and then just having it put all the components into that chest like makes that so much faster. Obviously, we want to eventually get everything just completely automated, but I'm trying to get there we go. Do I want to? I probably don't need to make that a recipe. I don't have much room for patterns right now, so I'm kind of just doing the stuff that's the most important, I think. Is it? I'm just trying to get a couple mufflers here because this thing running is pretty constant. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Got to be really careful with which things I have, and I'm assuming that's a 1 that did that, yeah. Yeah, I did something there. I don't know what I did. So I can find it in the thing. As we can see, there's so many different... It did 2, I think, didn't it? Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. Something in there did that. Alright. There's that. Apparently that was a quest that I didn't know about. Actually, I think I do know. It's probably under here. There's like a base, building better bases. Yep, there it is. Sound muffler, sure. Elevator. Alright, so I'm just going to throw these in a chest over here because I don't know if I'm going to use these. But maybe we'll check them out at a later time. Alright, so anyway, got that taken care of. Next thing I want to do is get into taking a look at my ME system here, because I'm starting to struggle a bit on channels, and one of the main ones is this line over here. So I got to figure out where I want to put all my fluids, because I want all my fluids in one spot, easy to find, easy to access. Do I want to do it maybe over here? Do I want them upstairs somewhere? Do I want to build out somewhere? Maybe out here, build out another room just for fluid tanks, because I have so many different types of fluids. Not 100% sure on that yet. But we can start replacing some of this with P2P networks. So let's go ahead and grab some dense cables. I forgot to pick that up. And what we need is the P2P tunnel. And I believe these can... I think they can transfer other things as well. So they can transfer EU, even items, RF, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure. I think you click on them with an item and that changes. Like, there's no recipe for this. There is for the ME, but like for the P2P EU tunnel? I don't know if there's a thing for it. Anyway, yeah, so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna break this. And I'm gonna break that for now. And I actually I want some cable anchors as well to separate these. Got cable anchors. There was another thing I was gonna... There, that muffler I was gonna do. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna add this. This is where the channels are actually gonna come out. So right there, we're gonna put a P2P thing on the back. So this is what's gonna get hooked up to the P2P network. So we're gonna connect that. Now it doesn't get power through this. I need to power it. I will power it up top. And I'm actually gonna do... I guess we'll do a... depends how many lines I'm going to have on my P2P channel network. I can always replace this, so for now we're just going to do a small one. And connect it there. Now this is two separate. This should get the thing, yep. Now all these channels are going up to here, which is not what I want. I want them to be on this P2P network. I want all these channels sent to this one. So to do that, I need to only have P2P tunnels on the end of this. So I'm probably going to have one here. And I'm sure I'm going to end up changing this 50 million times. So there's that. And then I'm going to have one here. And I have no idea how much these P2P tunnels... I have no idea how much they like cost to power up. So what we have here, now we have the P2P network, which each of these P2P tunnels is one channel. So we got the one there, one there, one there. So that's 3. And then what we can do is connect these P2P tunnels to this one. So I'm trying to remember. You shift click on the one you want them to output to. If I remember correctly, I could be mixing this up. And then right click on those, and that will load these settings. So in theory, if I did this, oops. Yeah, I did it right. Okay. So you shift click on that one and then right click on the ones you want to connect those to. You can have multiple inputs and one output. So basically what we just did was tell it to send these channels. So there's 4 channels over here and 4 channels over here. They get condensed down into this line and then output right here. So now there's the 8 channels in this thing going right into my controller network here. So in theory, I could have 32 channels just here, put it in there, it gets sent down the one line to one channel and then output to the 32. Now, since I don't have a lot of channels here, I just have multiple tunnels connected to that. But basically, it is so you don't have to have dense cables all over the place, like how I've done a whole bunch of dense cable down here. Using P2P networks, you won't have to do that. So I guess we could We could try this one as well, because this one is a bit tight on channels. As we see, we're full on channels here. So how do we want to do this? We want to make this a P2P network. And we're also going to make this one eventually a P2P network too, because that goes to all our computers and interfaces. So, like I said, these are this is kind of temporary, because a lot of these machines I am going to end up moving, like all my fluids and stuff. So I'm probably going to want how many do I have left? I have 3, so I have enough for 2 outputs. So since I have 1 here, and I have some up here, I have 2 up there, 1 here, I can turn this into a P2P network, I think. No. See, this is going to be a bit difficult here because I have stuff branching off this. Like, I can't turn this into a P2P tunnel because you can't have this stuff going off it. But I guess for now we'll just kind of see, how do I want to do this? We'll do 1 here, that there, and how about we do a dense cable here? That way I can do more channels that way, and this channels, like I could have 8 channels going this way, 8 channels going this way. But this is pretty temporary. Now there's that. Now I also want, how many? All right, I have plenty. We're going to put, this is the output. Right, I also have 1 over here. So as we can see, I have cables under here. And I had those separated, but now that I added a P2P network over here, right, it's there. We can get rid of this. I don't like having that open like that. I'll just do this. And that would go. All right, so these 4 channels will go here. Those couple channels will all go there, and then those channels will go there. And I stuck. No. Gotta be careful that I don't create any 2-block tall spaces in there. I'll just throw I'll throw a torch down there just in case. All right, so fix that. So I guess we'll put 1 over on the other side. But again, this is not ideal. How about we put it right there, I guess. Now there's 7 channels. Obviously I could do bigger cables, but for now I think that's fine. Oh, I need to connect it before I cover it up. All right, if I did all this correctly, so that goes there, that goes to that one. Okay, so that should be good. Let's go ahead and connect those. Now I do need to figure out why my power shut off. Right, because that's my power acceptor. I moved my energy acceptor because it wasn't getting enough power. So I'm going to move it back. To here. Just temporarily again. Just to get this powered. All right, so there it's powered because I can't connect this. Since I disconnected the things over there, it turned off. All right. So as I'm looking at this, I'm realizing I need to get... I could probably do it here. It's going to kind of block a lot of my access, which isn't ideal. Oh, hello, that's not where I wanted that. You only need one of these cable anchors. I just find it looks better when you do two of them. So we'll do that and connect it to there, and then this will get power. These P2P network will get power to there. So we know everything is right. So I put down 6 P2P tunnels. This is the P2P network, and as we can see, there is 6 cables, 6 channels. So I connected everything correctly. Now I just need to connect the P2P tunnel. So shift click on that, right click on that, and then right click on the other one. And there we go. So it's a little easier to see on this one. So this has 7 channels. They go in there, get condensed down to 1. It's easier when you can see with the color. Oops. Yep. So that's totally in the way. And then over here, we got 10 channels. Yeah, as we can see, we got 4 channels going in there. We got 3 channels coming from that direction. Yeah, see, I don't like all that open space there, but oh well. Yeah, so we got 4 channels, 3 channels, 3 channels, and that goes into 10, and then that gets sent out here. And as we can see, we already have 17 channels on this line. But yeah. Now the question is, how do I want to kind of set these up? Do I want to have like 8 channels? Do I want like 8 channels per thing, per P2P tunnel? And then have multiple P2P tunnels, like have 8 here and then have maybe 8 here or something like that. The only issue with that is you can only have so many P2P tunnels. Every one of these uses up a channel. So the more these you add, the more channels you're going to need up here. So to get the absolute most out of these P2P tunnels, I would need 32 going into each of these. Basically having 8 pairs of 2. Is that right? Or 16 pairs of 2. Is that right? I don't know. Yeah, 16 would be all on one. Because each one would be a channel, and then you could do 32 channels. Yeah, so I was right. And then each of those have 32 channels going in. So you can really get a ton of channels off one P2P network. Now, obviously, I could do a separate P2P network. This one's one. I could do a separate one here. Like, this just isn't entirely ideal. Like, I could just do this. No, that's not going to work because that's there. I was thinking if I did one here, but I also don't have any more P2P networks. Anyway, just thought I would show that out before I start kind of breaking everything down and moving. I did add a couple more input hatches, so now I have 5 input hatches and 4 output hatches on this, but I have not yet tested if I can do the 2 recipes on here. I think I can, but haven't tested that because I didn't have enough channels. Anyway, let me cut here and figure out what we want to do next. I am trying to get the tungstate still. I think I need a couple more. Yeah, I need 7 more. And then I will be able to get the tungsten steel. All right, I finally got all the tungstate I needed. So I went and grabbed the hydrogen that I will also need for this. And I think it goes, let me turn off the fluid output. Right, I was doing the chlorine, that's what it was. So tungstate goes in the electrolyzer. So it looks like you can only do, yeah, the hydro, obviously. Yeah, you can only put the hydrogen in the, you can't do cells of it because it does need a circuit. Now, kind of wondering why it needs a circuit. Like, what else? There's no other recipe for tungstate, so what is the point of the circuit? I guess we'll go make a new one here. There it is. I think that said 1. Now I need to borrow this again. I'm actually running low on power here because I have one of these turned off and I've been running a bunch of stuff. All right, but there we go. Thought I turned off. Oh, it's going in there. There is our tungsten. So we finally got 2 tungsten, which we'll be able to make the tungsten steel with. I'm just gonna void that oxygen. Now, one of the issues I have noticed is with my power setup that I have, the blast furnace is struggling to it's struggling to run at EV power. Oh, this just goes in a, doesn't it just go in a mixer? I don't remember. Can I just throw it in a... Oh, see, if you do a crafting recipe, you don't get a full thing. So yeah, absolutely not going to be doing it that way. Why can I not? There it is. 1. Yeah, it can go in a HV1. All right, so there's the tungsten. So what I was saying is this has a hard time running with HV power, and I think it is because the batteries, I only have 4 batteries. So what I have decided I want to do is craft a larger battery buffer. We're going to do the 9 slot. And also, I'm going to craft a diode. Just let's see, voltage in. No, I want the 4 amp, I think. And I should have those right there. All right, so there is that. Now, the reason I want this diode is because this line, I only have 2x cables, and I don't want to have to upgrade all these. So in case at some point these are all running, I don't want it to pull all these amps. So what I'm going to do is remove... I can find my wire cutters. There they are. I'm going to move this. Is that the one? Yeah. And I'm actually going to remove that one so I can see what I'm doing. Now, when I place this down, let's take a look at this. I'm assuming the power comes out of that, is my guess. But it doesn't really say. It can only go one direction. So I'm assuming that is the correct way. I don't think anything would blow up anyway, because there's no power down here, so I can't... There's nothing to charge it and send it that way. Let's use our scanner and see if it does. All right, so it has power. So it does, that's the input and that's the output. I'm pretty sure. Because if this is the input, it wouldn't be getting power from these machines. All right. So basically what that's going to do is stop this from ever transporting or exporting more than 4 amps. Maybe I could have done the same thing here, but not entirely sure with that, because that problem was cable loss. Not being able to reach these. I don't know. So yeah. And then all these other cables have 4x except for these two. So those might be an issue if I have a bunch of stuff running. So I might want to change that. A bunch of electron wire here. Yeah, I may just go ahead and change that now, so I don't have any fires, because last thing I need is a fire. And it's purely because of this advanced furnace that can pull 3 amps just by itself. I think that is connected, yeah. All right, so I think we're good there. And then that 2x cable, yeah. Although, like, how did I end up in this weirdness? I'm like, I'm stuck. How the heck can I get out of here? See if I can do it this way. Nope. See, if you do that, if you hold the Gregtech tool, then you can't do it. Oh, let me out. Wow, I really got myself trapped in here. That's pretty funny, actually. There we go. Yeah, so if you hold it, you won't fall, but if I move it, I will fall down. Anyway, so there is that. So I think we're good. This will only pull 4 amps total. So I think we can go ahead and replace this with the 9 slots. And and I have a large battery hull, and I'm just going to do sodium again. Once I get a better source of tungstate, I can probably change these to lithium if I decide to, but I don't know if that's quite needed. I could have done the energy crystals. They store more than the sodium, but I don't know if I have ruby. I need the ruby dust for this. And I figured these are just kind of easier to make. Anyway, so that's going to do that. So I'm going to I'll have 6 batteries in here, and I hope that will power this when I switch out this. So we're going to do this. I'm going to have to lose that, like always. We'll place that with that. Place it down and then connect it. So this should be, yep, that's enough. Now let me finish crafting up these batteries, and then we will cook up this tungsten steel, and hopefully this will work. Alright, so it looks like it is running here without any problems so far. I'm up to almost 2 minutes it's been going. The stored energy doesn't seem to be dropping. So it looks like this is running now. If I have anything else running along my HV line, we might have problems here. So that is something to think about. I'm probably going to end up moving this over here, I think. But before I do that, I probably want to get the EV energy hatch. But to craft this, I need a bunch of tungsten steel. So we're not going to do that quite yet, because I think that requires what? That's 4... Is that 4 ingots? No. That's 2 ingots. Yeah, that's 2 ingots of tungsten. So this thing needs at least 4 ingots of tungsten steel. And yeah, that's a pretty hefty price at this time. So what I think I'm going to do is, there we go, we got another tungsten steel ingot. So we're going to cook up the rest of this tungsten steel. I need to replace another hatch over here as well. So I need this also on EV power, so I can actually cool these, because these need, yeah, these need EV power as well. 18 seconds. Not as bad as the 150 seconds it costs to do that. Now, again, I think we're close enough that we'll be able to get enough power over here with the 4 amps. But yeah, eventually I want this running off an EV line. And the other small issue I did notice is that the hatch that I'm using, I've just kind of moved one I already had, only takes in 1 amp. So these, obviously the batteries are draining because I just used a bunch of power, but only 1 amp is going in here. So these were actually draining as well. All right, but that will be for next episode. Next episode, I did the epoxy sheets. Is it epoxy? Yeah, I did the epoxy circuit boards, which we can make, and then I can make these, and then the circuit assembler. Let's see. Yeah, so this is one of the ones I wanted to craft, the nano processor. But I do need a better circuit assembler. Which is fine. I'm trying to remember. There. So yeah, so these are easier than the workstations, basically, is what I was working towards with these. So I need the better circuit assembler, but I realized when I was looking at the recipes here. Yeah, IV tier, that's pretty typical. I have already crafted them in the past with the mainframes. So all this stuff, although expensive, is not the end of the world. But the issue here is the emitter. So if we look at the emitter, I need radon. And to get radon, I need to get to the moon, I believe. Wasn't there? Something was gating me, and I can't remember what it was, what the gate was. Oh, plutonium, that's right. Plutonium and uranium. So I need to get to the Mars, not the moon, I think I said the moon. I need to get to Mars to get uranium, plutonium, to get the radon, to get the circuit assembler, to get the better circuit recipes, and be able to upgrade the blast furnace to EV power with an EV hatch. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. So thanks for watching and have a good one.